80% of companies deploying AI cut their staff in the last year, and the cuts didn't improve their returns at all. That's not me saying that, that's Gartner. They surveyed 350 businesses, all over $1 billion in revenue, all piloting or deploying AI agents and automation. And the companies that cut the most performed nearly the same as the companies that cut the least. Cloudflare just cut 1,100 people, blamed AI, and watched their stock drop 24% the next day. So if you're a founder watching Salesforce and Oracle gut their teams and wondering if you should do the same, pump the brakes. I've helped over 80 founders integrate AI into their businesses in the last year, and the ones who treated it like a layoff strategy got destroyed. The ones who treated it like an amplifier built businesses that run without them. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side of that line you're on, and the 3 questions to ask before you touch a single AI agent. Hi, I'm Julia. I read every comment. Let's get into it. Quick context on me before I go further. I run First Movers. We've integrated AI into 80+ businesses in the last 14 months. Coaches, consultants, agencies, service businesses doing 7 figures and up. So when I tell you the layoff strategy is failing, it's not from the cheap seats, it's from inside the room. Now, the Gartner number. They surveyed 350 enterprises, all north of $1 billion in revenue, all actively piloting or deploying AI agents, intelligent automation, or autonomous tech. 80% had cut staff. And here's the line that should make every CEO uncomfortable from Gartner's lead researcher, Helen Poitier-Van. Workforce reductions may create budget room, but they do not create return. Sit with that for a second. Layoffs don't create returns. They just create vacancies. Here's what's actually happening. There are 2 ways to think about AI in your business, and they look similar from the outside. They are not the same thing. The first way is replacement. You look at a department, you ask, can AI do this? And if the answer is yes, you cut the people. That is the strategy that's failing 80% of the time. The second way is amplification. You look at the work your best people do, you ask, how do I make them 10 times more effective? And you build AI on top of their expertise. That's the strategy that's working. Gartner's own words. The organizations improving ROI are the ones that amplify their people, not the ones that eliminate them. Salesforce is a perfect example. They cut 4,000 customer support roles, went from 9,000 support heads to about 5,000. Mark Benioff said it himself on the Logan Bartlett podcast. But look at what the remaining team is doing. Half of all customer interactions now run through AI agents, half still run through humans. Same volume of conversations as before. The agent isn't replacing the support rep. The agents plus the remaining reps are handling what 9,000 people used to handle. That's amplification. That's the move. The CEOs who confused amplification with replacement just lit billions in market cap on fire. Let me give you the math. 3 companies, 3 cautionary tales. Case 1, Cloudflare, Q1 revenue up 34% year over year, $640 million. Beat earnings. They cut 1,100 employees. 20% of the entire company, the first mass layoff in their 16-year history. CEO Matthew Prince called AI the biggest tailwind we've ever seen in Cloudflare's history. The stock dropped 24% the next day. Billions in market cap gone in 24 hours. And here's the detail that makes it worse. In the layoff memo, Prince and his co-founder bragged that Cloudflare's own AI usage had grown over 600% in 3 months. Their people were using the tools, productivity was exploding, and they cut 20% of them anyway. That's like firing your sales team because they figured out how to use the CRM. Prince even admitted on the earnings call he expects to have more employees in 2027 than at any point in 2026. Cut 1,100 people, plan to hire them back within a year. The market saw that math and dropped the stock 24%. Case 2, Oracle. They announced 20,000 to 30,000 cuts back in March. By June, their own annual filing showed 21,000 people gone in 12 months, almost 13% of the entire company. Their filing says it plainly. The adoption and deployment of AI technologies across our operations have resulted and may continue to result in reductions to our workforce. Sounds decisive, right? Here's the catch. In that same filing, Oracle admits the restructuring may lead to shortages of sufficiently skilled employees and loss of valuable institutional knowledge. They wrote the risk into their own SEC paperwork. They know they're cutting their own talent pipeline to hit a number. So in 18 months, when the senior people who survived start retiring or leaving, where do the next ones come from? Case 3, Coinbase. 14% of the workforce, about 700 people, gone in May. Brian Armstrong announced they're rebuilding the company to be AI native. And here's the part most people missed. Armstrong's own reason for the cuts was that AI had made his people faster. He said engineers were shipping in days, what used to take a team weeks. Non-technical employees were writing code. Your team gets more productive with the tools, so you cut the team? Even Wall Street analysts called AI an easy excuse and pointed at the crypto downturn as the real driver. Pattern across all three. The market punishes companies that frame AI as a cost-cutting move and rewards companies that frame it as capability expansion. Now, here's the twist buried in Gartner's own research. Gartner predicts that by 2027, half of the companies that blamed AI for cutting customer service staff will rehire people to do the same jobs under different job titles, same functions, new name on the badge, so the AI investment still looks like it worked. And longer term, Gartner forecasts autonomous business becomes a net job creator by 2028 or 2029. New categories of work that don't exist today, which means the companies cutting now will be hiring back within 24 months at higher salaries for skills their fired employees just learned while working somewhere else. The CEOs cutting 20% of their workforce today are going to be calling those exact people in 2 years, asking them to come back. And the smart ones, the ones who left, learned AI on someone else's payroll and built real skill, are going to be the ones writing the terms. That's the inversion that's coming, and it's already in Gartner's forecast, sitting in plain sight. Quick aside, since we're talking about learning AI before the market forces you to, that's the whole point of First Movers Labs. Every framework I use with private clients, every prompt, every workflow, updated weekly. It's at labs.firstmovers.ai, and code FIRSTMOVER saves you $50 each month. So if you're a founder watching all this and you're trying to decide what to do, here are the 3 questions I ask every client before we touch a single workflow. Question 1, is your offer proven and generating revenue? If the answer is no, you don't have an AI problem. You have a positioning problem. AI doesn't fix a broken offer. It scales whatever's already there. If the offer doesn't convert, AI just helps you fail faster. So before anything else, is the offer real? Is money coming in? Are people paying without you having to convince them? If yes, move to question 2. Are you the bottleneck in your own business? If you're a founder and the business stops when you stop, AI is the highest value move you can make. If you've already got a team that runs without you, AI just adds management overhead you don't need yet. This is why the celebrity coach, the personal brand consultant, the agency founder who's also the closer, these are the people who win the hardest with AI. They're trapped in their own business. AI is the way out. Question 3, do you have at least one person who can run the system after we build it? This is the one founders skip, and it's the one that breaks every implementation. AI agents are not set it and forget it. Somebody has to monitor them, tune them, retrain them as the business changes. If it's not you, it has to be somebody, an assistant, a VA, a junior team member, anyone who can own the dashboard. Without an operator, AI agents become abandoned dashboards. And abandoned dashboards become a $40,000 line item nobody wants to look at when all 3 of those answers are yes. Here's what happens. I had a client come to us 60 days ago, celebrity trainer, booked solid, couldn't take more clients because there was only one of him. Proven offer, founder bottleneck, 1 assistant ready to operate. 60 days in, his content output is 8 times what it was. His avatar is running on autopilot. His assistant manages the entire pipeline. And here's the kicker. He didn't fire anybody. He didn't replace a single human. He just stopped being the bottleneck. That's amplification. That's the move. And it's the thing 80% of CEOs are missing while they're cutting headcount and crashing their stock price. Here's the compression. If you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. AI is an amplification strategy. The CEOs treating it like a layoff strategy are about to learn an expensive lesson. And the data is already in. The client I told you about stopped being the bottleneck in 60 days. If that's the trap you're in, your business runs on you and you can't step away without everything slowing down. That's exactly what we built Clone Camp for. Clone Camp is 2 days in person in Phoenix. You fly in and my team builds your AI clone with you, your voice, your face, your content system, done for you, running before you fly home. It's the fastest path out of being the bottleneck that we offer. The link is firstmovers.ai/clone-camp right at the top of the description. See you down the next rabbit hole.